Friends, wherever you find yourself, however you're doing, whether you're watching live tonight or in the days to come, may grace and peace be with you. Pray you find yourself in a comfortable space, maybe with a candle and a cup of tea, in a space where you are able to take some time to find a quiet center. Come and find a quiet center in the crowded life we lead. Find the room for hope to enter. Find the frame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Lift our eyes that we might see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be. In these days of changed patterns of activity, we have gathered on Wednesday evenings to be attentive to the center, to be attentive to the voice of the holy, of the divine, of God, of the Christ within, of the inner teacher, the inner light, the true self. We gather to look back over the day, to recognize moments of connection and moments of disconnection. A method of prayer based in the Ignatian tradition of spirituality, based on a prayer called the Daily Examen, believing that God is present to us, that grace is present to us, and that attention to our emotions, to our reactions to our day, might help us discern the movement of spirit within and around us. I invite you to find yourself a comfortable space. Let us breathe deeply together. In the Hebrew scriptures, ruach means both wind and spirit. In the Christian scriptures, pneuma, from which we get pneumatic, or sadly pneumonia, refers to the breath, and also is the word for spirit. As we breathe in, we seek to cultivate an awareness of the indwelling spirit that enlivens all creation, all things, and each one of us. In the prayer of Examen, we think back over our day. So let us settle into our bodies, into a comfortable space, breathing deeply through our nose and into our abdomen, allowing ourselves to settle into this moment, settle into the space, settle into our bodies, like a rock settles into the mud at the bottom of a pond after being thrown in. And as we settle, we acknowledge how we're feeling. Perhaps you're in a comfortable space. You've relaxed into this evening. Perhaps you've just barely slowed down, or perhaps this time is an exercise for you in trying to slow down, in seeking to have a moment of pause, perhaps amidst a stressful or busy day. We need not come to these moments of prayer and connection in a certain way. We need not be relaxed. We need not feel holy. We need not even feel whole. We come however we are and recognize and acknowledge that, believing that is part of the process of recognizing Spirit at work within. I want to invite us to think back over our day. Perhaps the last couple days, or maybe the last week or more since we last shared in this experience, this practice together. I wonder what moments come to mind. I wonder what moments strike us as significant. I wonder where we felt connected, hopeful, where we felt excited about possibility and potential. I wonder where we felt life coming to us, kindled within us, bubbling up through us. And I wonder where we felt stretched, where we felt stressed, hurt, frustrated, disappointment. Where did we feel like life was draining from us rather than coming to us? I wonder where in our body we experience these moments as we think back to them now. Do we feel an energy, a spaciousness within? Do we feel a tightness in the chest, in the neck, in the jaw? I wonder how we might hold these moments, that we might not be governed by our reactivity, but to be able to live and move out of a deeper, more centered space. I wonder if there's a moment in particular that feels really poignant about this day. I wonder if we might hold it. I wonder about what that moment and the feelings, both the physical sensation and the emotions we attach to it. I wonder what that feeling calls us to embrace more deeply, to work with, to interrogate our own response and reaction. Let us breathe deeply once again. What I love about the word practice, it reminds us that what we do in these moments is about forming habits for each moment that we might find accessible to us, that deeper source of connection. That we might practice in these moments being with the parts of our day that are both beautiful and challenging, that we might then find ourselves able to be in those moments, each as they come, fully present to the grace that is in both the beautiful and the challenging times. As we move from this moment of practicing awareness of grace and into sharing prayers, we have things that have been shared with us that people have asked that we would lift up in prayer. And we'll do that together. If you who are watching live have something you'd like us to mention, please feel welcome to do so. If you're watching afterwards, feel invited to write in the comments below that which you would hold in prayer and that which you would ask others who are watching this video after you to hold as well. As we are able, after we say these things, we respond with the words, God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We pray first for Dorothy Kittleson, still receiving palliative care in the Grace Hospice. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We continue to hold in prayer the family of Carol Almos, who passed away on Friday of last week, for Carlos and for their children, for their friends and the many people in her community, communities of schools that she was a part of, and the choirs and musical groups, for those who grieve and those who feel hurt in this moment. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Pray for Alex Ghetto after the death of his mother, Elizabeth. We pray for all of Elizabeth's friends. We give thanks for her life. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We hold in prayer a friend of Knox-Metropolitan United Church, Deb Anderson Pratt, minister of the Regina Native Outreach Program. We pray for Di and her family, and for her younger brother. We pray for the grief of the loss of someone dear, and the anxiety of waiting for her brother to have surgery. For that which she carries and all those around her, O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We continue to pray for Tristan DeRoche and the Walking with Our Angels camp at the Saskatchewan Legislature, as they fast to seek to raise awareness of the need of a suicide prevention program, particularly to address the epidemic of suicide amongst Northern Indigenous communities. And tomorrow, the National Day for the Prevention of Suicide. We pray for those events that will happen. Pray for the interfaith vigil that will happen tomorrow evening at 7. The TP teachings in the morning, for the moments of solidarity throughout the day. We pray for Tristan as he continues in his 44-day fast, coming up to his final few days. 1 day for each of the MLAs who voted down a suicide prevention strategy. We pray for those who have the power to enact, power to equip others to do and make available resources to help. And we pray for those of us who have a voice to influence decision makers, that we might use it. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We pray for all of these things and so many more. For people holding on to unresolved hurts. For people beginning school this week. Students and educators and staff alike. For folks who are feeling hopeful. For folks who are feeling scared. For folks who feel like they have to make decisions between unideal options. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We pray for the injustices in our societies that this moment of pandemic has exposed. We pray that we would seek to grow back not to that which we were, but that to which we would become. O God, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We pray for that which you who are watching hold within your hearts, joys and concerns both. And we close with the words of a new creed. We are not alone. We live in God's world. We believe in God who has created and is creating, who has come in Jesus, the Word made flesh, to reconcile and make new, who works in us and others by the Spirit. We trust in God. We are called to be the church, to celebrate God's presence, to live with respect in creation, to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil, to proclaim Jesus crucified and risen, our judge and our hope. In life, in death, in life beyond death, God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God. Dear friends, wherever you are, however you're doing, whether you move from here into more responsibilities for this day or into the ease of sleep, may grace and peace be with you. Until we see again, though we cannot be together, we are not alone. Let us bless the space between us.